Hey, thanks for watching. I just did a golf school with this guy called Dr. Young-Hoo Kwon, who is like the world's #1 expert in golf biomechanics. So he has a lab at Texas Women's University that he's set up and has measured hundreds and hundreds of different elite golfers and regular golfers and others. So I do golf schools with Dr. Kwon every once in a while, and we had one last week. The question I had for him was that a couple years ago, maybe like 7 or 6 years ago, he had a golfer in his lab, Bryson DeChambeau, back when Bryson was maybe on the tour for a year or two. One of the things that Dr. Kwon recommended to Bryson was be careful of setting up like this and then thinking about impact being with the hands really high. So in this video, you'll see I asked Dr. Kwon why he doesn't like hands high at impact or at address either. So you'll see that now. All right, so Dr. Kwon, we're talking about on this graph here why high hands. So just show me the difference, like what high hands would be like at impact. Like, yeah, if you hit the ball like that,
So when you
that
hit the
all in a
ball
line.
this way, then the swing plane will be steeper than usual, and versus this impact here. What is the anatomical reason here? If you are relaxed here, then we're in this position. If you hold the club, then you will hold it this way here. But in order to make it this way here, you have to introduce a lot of the so-called ulnar deviation here, which is not anatomical. This is not natural posture here. Okay. So you need to have a little bit of angle here so that you don't go too far. Yeah. That's one reason. So when you move, first the joint motion should be natural. You're not forcing the joints to move certain ways intentionally. That's one thing. But another reason is a mechanical reason here. So if you keep it this way, straight like this here, then it's really easy to turn the club this way. With a little bit of misalignment of the hand, you can easily change the club face because this motion is the easiest. It's called the moment inertia, but since we have an engineer here, so the moment inertia about this axis here, so turning the club this way is really easy. It's a small moment inertia. So when you try to turn the club this way here, you have a large moment inertia because the axis rotation is going this way here. So when you keep the angle slightly here, what happens is with this motion, in order to change the orientation of the club hand, you have to turn your hands like this. This is really difficult because main motion is this way here, and then you try to introduce this motion to turn the club about the long axis here. But if you keep it straight, it's easier to turn it this way, on the way down. So the club face can change quite a bit between the swings. Okay? So by keeping it this way here, it's more difficult to turn the club head this way, and then it's easier to swing it this way here. Because this is more difficult to swing, and this is really easy. But you don't go to the position where you can easily turn the club head this way, because this will increase the variability in the impact conditions. So it's better to have a little bit of angle here, so that you don't just turn it this way.
So Dr. Kwon, is it that like people hit the ball with that angle, but it's going to the right, and then instead of using the body more, they just stand the hands up more to kind of turn it through?
So what happens is
Yeah.
you just try to flip it this way. This is not a good way.
Not a good solution for getting the ball straighter.
So
Yeah.
if you want to change, again, the principle of shape here. So if you want to change the direction of the shot, then you have to overall change the direction of the swing plane here. That's the more fundamental solution here. So when you have a symptom, like a headache, the painkiller will solve the problem for short time period. But if you have fundamental issues in the brain here or head, then it will come back again and again. So you have to do a surgery or something, and you have to eliminate the main cause of the problem, right? So in order to change the impact conditions, then you have to work on the overall shape of the swing instead of trying to manipulate with the wrist motion. Then you are just increasing the variability in the motion, and then it will affect the outcome variability. We call it outcome variability. If you make some adjustments which directly impact the outcome variability and easily, then it's hard to control. So you have to have a fundamental changes in swing play while keeping this angle here. This.
Great.
And then if this was too much, then also you have a problem. A lot of people just hold it here and they swing like this all the time.
Right.
You're pretty much killing the wrist motion here. But still, the wrist motion should be natural here, going this way here. So you should have good supination, pronation of the forearm here, so that you don't violate the motion of the principle of natural joint motions. And then so supinate here in terms of the right arm, supinate here, come down and swing, and then maintain this angle, and then also pronate the forearm like this instead of try to always kill it like this, lifting up like this. Then you are eliminating the wrist motion. So particularly the wrist motion gives a lot of curvature motion. So if you restrict the wrist motion, then definitely it will affect the curvature motion detrimentally.
Dr. Kwon, you had like a percentage that you used to talk about, like of the speed in the swing, how much is coming from the motion of the wrist?
I do have the data somewhere, but I don't usually give the numbers to people. But in terms of so we call it the decomposition of the curvature speed to a joint motions, and the wrist has the highest contribution.
So more than any other thing, the motion of your wrist is going to add speed.
Particularly the wrist contribution, the maximum wrist contribution occurs close to the impact. While some other body parts, they have a maximum contribution earlier, but the wrist has a maximum contribution near the impact. So you have to let the wrist move instead of holding it and then try to lift the holding it. So when you have a severely outward swing play, what happens? You drop here and then try to lift like this, then you're killing the wrist motion here.
Okay, so thanks to Dr. Kwon for that. What I got out of that video and what I was really thinking that Dr. Kwon was saying there was that when you hit the ball and your hands, especially the right arm, comes straight and this comes up into a line, so this right arm and left arm and the shaft, they're all one line. That makes this able to twist a lot very easily. But if you have some angle between the shaft and the arms here, that makes like kind of this wedge here that now twisting is much more difficult. I think what ends up happening a lot is that people actually first hit the ball like this and they see the ball go way to the right. And then instead of learning how to pivot more or pivot better or get better wrist conditions so that it squares up the face, but keep that same basic pivot happening, they try to square the face with throwing all the angles out at it. So they might start off with a good swing like this, but the face way to the right, like a good pivot anyway. But then once they see the ball go to the right, they throw this arm out and they shut the toe down because they really want that ball to go straight. So a good image in your mind, I'll do this with pitching wedge so I don't hit anybody, is when you hit a shot, hit it where you feel like there's angle between here and there. Like if there's a rubber band coming from your shoulder to the center of the club head shaft, that would still be kind of far away from your hands. Think of this as this whole thing is like a wedge. So you're not hitting it like that, but you're keeping some of this angle here when you hit the shot, like there. And you'll feel, if you keep this angle, how much more you have to rotate. Like that. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. We're going to be doing another school with Dr. Kwon, I think, in the Bay Area, which means the San Francisco Bay Area. So email me, contactbebettergolf@gmail.com, and you can get more information about that. When it all comes out, you can be the first to know about it. Thanks for watching. Bye. All right, we got it.